Welcome to Survivor NSFW. Oh my God, Johnny's 45th birthday celebration. I'm in my basement right now because I am at the edge of extinction because I got kicked down here because I make too much noise. I cannot believe, has hell frozen over? It is the dead grandma, alive and kicking. How you doing?
Fine, how you doing?
I am doing great. Now look at this. I'm Jonny Fairplay's friend, and I have this really long beard. I don't know if you ever seen one.
He has a 4-foot beard.
Wow.
That's
a whole lot of hair.
Yeah.
So, you dated guys with long appendages?
No.
The dead grandma has been married, what, 6 times?
7.
7.
Oh,
7 times.
Well,
I'm hard to please.
She's hard to please, Matt.
well,
So,
it runs
here
in the
tonight.
family. It runs in the family because Johnny, you've probably had like 7 wives I don't know about.
Well, I got 7 something. We are here tonight in Durham, North Carolina, at the Dirty Bull. She is looking for husband number 8. She's been eyeing up Jeff Varner all night. I ain't got the heart to break the news to her, but we'll figure it out one way or another.
Oh, that is hilarious. Well, what an honor as a super fan of Survivor for me to be able to be doing this podcast right now, looking at Jonny Fairplay, who's my dear friend now, but someone who I was a fan of on Pearl Islands, doing one of the most epic moves and lies in the history of reality television. It's about this woman right next to you. It is a true honor, and thank you so much for making an appearance tonight for Jonny Fairplay's 45th birthday party.
Let's hear it, everybody. So what did you think of the dead grandma lie when I first said it?
I just knew that was you.
So a lot of people were obviously offended by it. So it's just one of those things. That's Jonny Fairplay's personality. That's his just way of joking, and you were fine with it.
Oh yeah, that's just Johnny.
Yeah.
If anyone pays attention on if you are Patreon and you're paying attention and you look in the background, I have a license plate when we do the podcast, typically not when we're at a live show, obviously, but it says Dead G-Ma. That is the license plate on her car.
I love it. That is truly awesome. Well, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Love you. Mwah.
Wow. First kiss.
All right, we're gonna keep this show rolling. I have my grandmother's beautiful. We all know that. I have the second most beautiful person in this room right now. I have Jeremiah from the Beauty Tribe.
So here's the beautiful thing about this. So everyone out there, a lot of people probably don't know this. So when I was at my LA casting finals for Survivor Caramoan, I'm at this swimming pool every day because you have workout time and so forth, right? And I see this good-looking country boy, model-looking dude, every day. And that was Jeremiah. And yep. Jeremiah, cool. You ended up not making the cut for Survivor Caramoan, and you got explain
you
that.
Lucky devil.
Oh yeah. I wish that I would have played, a later season like you did. So, did you go through that whole casting finals and then just get cut at the last minute? How did that work out?
Yeah, so I made it all the way through finals, and actually I made Survivor 26. So a lot of people don't know that, but at the last minute I got pulled off. I got the phone call. And it was a very humbling experience. But, I started telling everybody, thank you for everything, for letting me come out to finals and let me be a part of all that. And they kept telling me, saying, look, now we're going to need that good-looking country guy sometime in the future. I took it as they was trying to be nice. It was humbling to me. And about 4 months later, I got the phone call to fly back out for season 28. And I made season 28.
How many days before you were supposed to leave, did they call and say, "Hey, I'm afraid I got some bad news"?
It was actually probably about a month.
Okay, a month.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Well,
So,
let me ask you this: do you have any idea who took your place on Survivor Season 26 Caramoan?
I do not have a clue. I don't know if it was Reynolds or what, because Reynolds was out there. If you remember.
Yeah, I mean, I guarantee you, it wouldn't have been Shamar, myself, or Michael Snow. I bet you Eddie or Reynolds. I bet you Eddie or Reynolds.
You don't think Matt Bischoff took your spot?
I think we look alike. I was in the hot tub. You know what? I was in a hot tub looking at Matt, saying, "Man, am I looking in a mirror?"
Well, dude, thank you so much. It was awesome seeing you on your season, and we're gonna get right into, and I want to hear some of your opinions. Night 8, the show starts out. Survivor, Edge of Extinction. Reem has no compassion when Chris comes to the Edge of Extinction, right? Reem actually throughout this whole, she's making it hell on everybody, and quite frankly, Reem is annoying the hell out of me. And go ahead, John.
Matt, if we were allowed to have a current contestant here with us tonight, but we're not because that's against the rules. But if we were to, we would tell that contestant they are the worst member of the welcoming committee to any island of any season of Survivor ever. And you know what? They would take that as a compliment.
Yes. We after we see the Edge of Extinction deal, when Chris goes there, we see Wendy. Her ankle obviously looks better. Okay, she's healing up, which is good for her. But Wendy is a total kook, dude.
Absolutely.
I
mean, we find out.
Hold on. Let's get here, Piper. Come here for we got a guest running. Come around this. No. All right, so we're gonna play pros and cons here. We have Jeremiah here. We have Piper Fairplay making a rare appearance here on the podcast. Let's hear Piper.
Yeah, Piper.
All right, Piper, would you kill those chickens?
No.
Okay, I thought that you would go that direction. So what do you think of Wendy releasing the chickens?
It's not smart.
Okay, so you don't think that was the best gameplay?
No.
Okay, but you support her decision, or no?
Not in releasing the chickens.
Okay,
No.
just wanting them to live.
Yeah.
Well, how are they supposed to live unless you release them?
You don't kill them.
Oh, you just keep them as pets?
No, you wait for them to lay eggs and then you eat their babies.
I love the sinister Piper.
Thanks for the intel, Piper. Dude. Say bye, Piper.
Dude, that's hilarious. So we find out Kelly is not stoked. People are realizing that Wendy hid the flint.
Yeah.
What is the whole point of Wendy causing this chaos around camp? And I just think that she should have gone home, before now. Because I'm not, after watching tonight's episode, she annoys me more than she has the first few episodes.
I love her now.
Yeah, I'm starting to look around. I think she's got a good game plan. I think she's trying to be that person that everybody hates, that everybody's going to be like, let's just snatch her up and let's take her to the end because nobody's going to vote for her. Everybody's going to hate her.
We might have, her name is Wendy Diaz, and we kiddingly refer to her as Wendy Diaz Twine. We might have another Diaz Twine on our hands.
Yep. No way, no chance. I like where you're.
Would you say you have $1 million that says she doesn't win?
Well, no, I don't have $1 million.
Smart. Only idiots say stuff like that.
Yes, but I think it's highly unlikely. But I do like your guys' thought process because it would be, someone that could squeak to the end because they're like, we'll just take her along with us. I mean, I don't think she's a dumbass Survivor player. She's just annoying, and I think
I'm loving her more. Like, it was so funny. Like, all right. We'll get to the tribe swap, and once we get to the tribe, I'll give my.
So the tribes go. It's drop your buff times. It's tribe swap time, right? Okay. So the thing that I do not like in Survivor in general is when they go from 2 tribes to 3 tribes. Okay, because for one, it's just. typically it makes it less interesting, I feel, at like a tribal council situation when there's not a bunch of people kind of in the mix
too much splitting of airtime between three tribes. You really don't get to focus on anyone. There's always that. So the Lesu tribe, they had no problem getting it. They've had all the airtime up until now. The airtime continues. Yep. That trend does not change whatsoever. But it's like we're seeing there, and Kama basically remains the same for the most part. Lesu is the other, and then you have the other members of Kama plus Wendy. The only person that could benefit from going to another tribe is the only person that goes to another tribe.
I know.
The Survivor gods go, hey, where are we going to send poor Wendy? Or is she going to meet her demise? No.
Yeah, that is why I always say that getting to the end of Survivor and winning the game, there is so much luck involved, right? Because first of all, the people that are on Joe's tribe keep winning, and they're going to keep winning as long as Joe's in the game. And it's just like it's the roll of the dice. So it is pretty fascinating that I think that's kind of the only time this scenario has happened in a tribe swap. So when everyone else is on the same tribe, we got the Kama tribe, the Manu tribe, and the Lesu tribe. So I think that, I mean, Wendy could, have been in a bad position, but I really don't think she is. And quite frankly, when she ends up like in the middle of the night when they go back to her camp and she decides to get out of bed and let the chickens out, I would be irate pissed.
Yeah. We have Jeremiah here. Jeremiah, how many chickens do you think you've killed in your life?
I've killed a few.
Let me ask Jonny. Jonny, how many chickens have you choked in your life?
That is a different question. But I can't count them on this thing now.
But you're a country boy, Jeremiah. You've killed a lot of chickens. And the thing is everyone's like, before in a couple episodes ago, it's like, hey, you eat chicken in your normal life. If we kill these chickens now, that's a better scenario than if you buy chicken McNuggets or something at McDonald's. Right. It's like these
are free-range chickens.
Free-range.
Yeah. Yeah. So, all right. So, is there a humane way to kill a chicken? Like if you're out there, what is your argument to Wendy?
My argument to Wendy would be, is we've got enough chickens. We're going to have a tribe swap coming up sometime soon. Yeah. We're going to all get mixed up. Yeah. The chickens is not going with her. Yeah. She got lucky.
She got real lucky.
She got lucky.
The Survivor gods intervened in every way possible for Wendy's game.
That's it. And they're not laying eggs, as you see. If they was laying eggs, they would show.
That was the thing. Like on Pearl Islands, we had two chickens. We had Little Jerry Seinfeld and Fuck the Clock.
Right.
And I think we got one chicken. Like we had one mini egg the entire time, and we're just like, kill the chickens.
Yeah,
like that. And I've heard from other survivors that have played that have had. They're like, oh no, we had eggs there, and I'm just like, really?
Yeah.
But I've been told under most circumstances the chickens are under such stress. Yeah. That they're not going to lay eggs.
If it's hot, like when we was in the Philippines, it was so hot in the Philippines that the chicken, we kept them in the shade, but they stay stressed out. They were sweating. They could not lay an egg.
Yeah.
And it was hot.
So they're not in Fiji. With I hate to say his name, War Dog. With War Dog sharpening the machete. Right. With Chris, half a man sharpening his machete. I think that the chickens feel it, and they're just like, you ain't getting I don't think they're like. I think if they knew they would save themselves, I think they'd give you 20 eggs.
Right.
But I think they're sitting there going, we ain't giving you nothing. and Eric Half a Man goes, good. You're giving me nuggets.
Well, go ahead.
If it was me, honestly, my argument would be, I wouldn't even have an argument, Matt. Honestly, I would grab it and wring his neck and this ball game over. But knowing that it's already 9 days in the game, nine to 10 days in the game, and knowing that there could be another tribe swap right before you go to your challenge, it's time to eat a chicken. Now, do we eat all 4? No.
I think it sounds like they did eat one,
right?
Because you hear the 3 chickens. I think they didn't show it. I think we did lose a chicken,
right?
But they lost a bunch. And how amazing! As much as I'm like, yeah, I'd be eating chickens all day long. How awesome is it? Eric doing a confessional and a chicken squawking in the back, just taunting him. I'm just like, you know what? This is better than them eating chickens. This is much better.
And the thing is, speaking of Wendy starts literally blabbing her mouth, giving all the secrets to everyone she's with now. She's just literally spilling the beans of all the relationships. Do you guys think that's a good move or a bad move? I think it's a pretty stupid move, honestly.
I think it's pretty stupid too myself.
Well, you would typically think that, but you had Aubrey state, hey, all of us are Kama strong. We have this one Manu, easy vote. She's giving us all this information. Maybe I keep this person. So maybe Wendy's not as dumb as we think. Right. My favorite part of the episode was once they do have the swaps and they're sitting there and they're talking about the chickens and watching Wendy, I was just like, oh my God, like if they didn't know that she had Tourette's, she's about to have a full blown episode right now. Like talking about and then we'll kill it and then we'll feather it and then we'll kill it some more and there'll be extra kill, and you just see it. I'm just like, oh my God, this is amazing television.
It is.
I know this is for the record, this is a really good episode of Survivor. Like I felt like this season started a little slow. I think a 90-minute premiere would have made a huge difference with a little more backstory for all the castaways. But I think they I feel a lot better going forward with tonight. I thought all the stuff with Wendy was really good, and then once we get to the second half of or the last quarter of the episode, I think it was a real throwback to earlier seasons of Survivor when Tribal really carried the entire episode.
Yeah. Right. And so I want to go to the Kama tribe. So we see Joe and Aurora, they're connecting, right? They have this kind of bond. And then we see Joe and Ron talking. And Joe's
Ron Clark's the man, huh?
Dude. So when they did the little 20 minutes earlier deal, right, where he had Julia go through, I know, Jonny, we've talked about this before. You were not a fan of going through someone else's belongings in the game of Survivor.
No. I am never a fan of going through someone else's stuff unless it's Joe Englam's, and then I'm 100% all for it. Oh, absolutely. Like I wish they had rinsed it out, like taking scissors and cut through stuff just to double and triple check. So no problem with that whatsoever.
So do you think that if Joe had a hidden immunity idol that he would have had it in his bag? Or do you think
because I don't know if you've checked out Joey Amazing. He ain't got much other places to hide stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I would be pissed.
And Ron Clark will let you know.
Oh, I'm sure he will. But I think it's pretty funny because
hi, Ron. I know you're listening.
Ron is a sinister player.
He is great. He is really, really good. I'm really enjoying him. I like when Joe was confirming that that they were tight, and Ron says yes, and then out of nowhere Ron gets bitter beer face. Before I went out on my first season of Survivor, I learned the tells, what people's tells are when they're lying. Most people have 7 tells, and you look away, blah blah blah, and apparently Ron Clark's tell is he has bitter beer face. Severely, he looks like he's sucking on a lemon for 8 hours when he lies to you. So I would love to play Survivor with Ron Clark, and I would like to borrow money from Ron Clark.
And now we got the Lesu tribe with your favorite player, War Dog, David, Lauren, Wentworth, and Rick Devens. I am loving Rick this season, and I really am loving him. And he kind of says, it's going to suck if we lose because these people are creating a tight bond. And people don't realize that. I mean, obviously we all do. when you play Survivor, when you have a family visit, for example, and you break down emotionally seeing your family, and some people are like, dude, it's only 30 days or whatever. That there's something about being on Survivor, being stripped away from everything that you know in life, that you create these insane bonds with the people that you play the game with, right? And it's hard to explain unless you play the game. And this is a perfect example of these players that are 10, 11 days into the game that have this bond. And now it's a 3-tribe deal, so the stakes are bigger and the group is smaller, and they realize this is really going to suck. I know we're playing a game, but this is going to be hard to have to vote somebody out.
Yeah. No, I mean, like, it's we see, as I said, like we're gonna get to the last quarter of this episode. It was a good one. It was old school. It was fun.
And I think you can see Lauren. I have a note here. You know, she's missing home, and she's kind of crying, getting an emotional.
I'm thinking Lauren might be pregnant.
But
I think that.
Well, what am I misreading this?
It shows her immaturity.
I think she possibly slept with Rick Devens.
I
I mean, Becca. I know you're listening, and I apologize, but Rick is a devilishly handsome man. It's hidden. You have to look deep. But no, I think Lauren might be pregnant, and that happens. I mean, people find true love. I mean, you know, I met Burton, Jeremiah met Immunity.
All of them.
No, but even like
you met Michael Snow.
Yeah, Michael Snow. You meet these people that you have this crazy bond with, and I don't know. It's crazy. I think it shows her immaturity and her age being. I was telling my wife tonight. I was like, man, quit your bitching. Like, I left my 2 little boys and my wife, who I love dearly, to go play the game of Survivor. And when I left, I missed them and I wanted to be with them. But when I was in the game, I was focused on the game, and I said, I'm not leaving my whole family in vain. Like, I'm here to play this game, and I'm not going to whine about it. And even when I got voted out and I went on the pre-jury trip, I made the best of it, because I'm like, this is the experience of a lifetime, and I'm not going to sulk about it. Yes, you miss people, but I think she's kind of, you know, maybe she needs to eat some food. It's making her crazy. I don't understand how you don't eat food. And rice is gross.
Well, she's tired of rice, Matt.
Yeah, sure. I tell you what, I think she's at the right state. Kelly has took her under her wing. So Kelly has broke down emotionally at the tribal council.
Yeah.
If War Dog is paying attention at all, them two are vulnerable. He could swoop them up. He could swoop them up and be another Russell Hance. I hate to bring Russell's name into it, but
I don't mind.
Yeah, I like Russell. I get along with him fine. But he could scoop them up, and that could be a Russell Hance alliance right there, because he always found the two girls.
The 2 girls.
And took off. So I hope War Dog's paying attention. But even though
I hope he's not.
Right.
Well, honestly,
let's not give War Dog a Russell Hance treatment so quickly.
No,
I mean, I thought he was a low-budget Tony Vlad shows, and now you're right. Now you're throwing.
I'm not
Russell.
comparing him to Russell. I'm just saying if he would play.
If he were smart, okay.
If he was smart, he's got 2 girls that are weak, and he can scoop them up.
There you
never know what happens.
Who knew Kelly Wentworth could be weak?
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, we go to a scene from the edge of Extinction. It's rainy. It's miserable. It looks like it's not a very good time. And we see Chris out there fishing, and Chris catches a couple little fish that remind me of Rupert's little 10-gallon aquarium fish.
Okay. So anyone that's not a patron, and you should go to patreon.com/Survivor NSFW. Go Patreon. You'll love it. You get all this bonus content. So, but if you have not watched Castaway Watch Along, you do not know this. Rupert is lauded as this amazing fisherman on Pearl Islands. He brought back aquarium-sized fish. Like he come back and goes, "Hey guys, look!" And it was like, "Wow, did we win a fish tank reward? Do we get to name them? Like, you know, can we pet? I mean, I know you're not supposed to pet fish. You could possibly give them ick or something. But like, I mean, these are so cute. But Rupert would be so proud, you know. And then Burton would go out and he was like, you know, hey, dude, here's like 8 stingray and like 28 pounds of fish. And Rupert's like, I need my spear back because I'm selfish. But anyway, so yeah, we saw an example of Rupert-style fish this evening. I was so happy. I was just like, that's it.
So I have a question. I have a question for you guys. If you guys are on Edge of Extinction and you're Chris and you catch these little fish, he technically could be like, screw you guys, I'm not feeding you these fish.
He could, but he shared his aquarium fish, and he's got. I mean, like, but wasn't the whole deal with Chris before he went out there? Like, so Chris is like a deep sea diver by trade. Yeah. And then he stopped doing that because, like, it was emotionally rewarding, but not financially. So then he started doing solar panel sales. He was doing excellent at solar panel sales. And so he's like, I'm not going to tell people about the solar panel sales because they'll think I'm just like, I think the deep sea stuff is more like in the game of Survivor. If I'm just like, oh man, I heard he sold solar panels, we should probably get rid of him. I think Chris might be part stupid.
He's another GT on my season.
Well, after they show a little bit of Edge Extinction, which I don't know what is going to happen, I keep racking my brain of like, what is going to be? There better be a big payoff for
next week. Next week looks exciting. Like next week looks like the jugs come into play a little more and people take off running. I didn't think the jugs would mean anything until Joe Anglim got his special glass mug. But we'll see.
Why don't you just, isn't there someone there that might know about the Edge of Extinction you could just ask?
Sure. No.
I'm just teasing.
But you know what? I will say this, and I don't think this is a spoiler of any kind. I've been fortunate enough to meet a couple Edge of Extinctioners, or now more than a couple, or speak to, and I get this. I'm like, what do you think about War Dog? And I think everyone here will tell you, we will not get on it. No one has anything to say about War Dog.
Well,
nothing.
I got something to say about.
Like you can name any other survivors, just like, hey, what do you think of Reem? She's awesome. What do you think about Rick Devens? Cool dude. What do you think about Gavin? He's pretty awesome. What do you, like any survivor that you mention, you get something about. What about War Dog? Not a effing answer from anyone.
Maybe War Dog wins the game.
No.
I just want to get you.
War Dog wins. This is Survivor checklist.
Okay. Well,
I'm done.
He's not going to win, but he doesn't really bother me as much as he bothers you.
We don't know. All right. So, before we have another castaway coming, but before we let that castaway get here, Jeremiah, you are responsible for Gavin from this season being on the show.
Right.
Did you guys not know that?
That's
spoiler
pretty cool.
alert. Not really a spoiler, but here we go.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome. So about a year after I came off the show and the show aired, I was in Myrtle Beach. I went in a Ron John surf shop. And I was walking around and I seen this kid that was in a tank top with a big purple tattoo just staring at me. Yeah. And I was like, oh no, maybe he recognized me, or maybe he needs directions to somewhere.
Did your grinder alert go off?
It kind of went off just a little
It's like, hey, you're in Ron John too. Sweet.
So anyway, back to the subject. So I made it back to the door, and he stopped me, and he said, hey, sir, can I ask you a question? I said, yeah. He said, are you Jeremiah Wood from Survivor Caramoan? And I said, I am. And he was like, oh, man, I'm a huge fan. Can I have a picture? Can I talk to you? So we talked for a little while, and about a year and a half ago, he reached out to me. He was one of those good fans that wasn't crazy and sending me stuff in the mail and stuff like that. So anyway,
so he wasn't crazy and he sent you stuff in the mail, or he wasn't crazy?
No, he wasn't one of those crazy fans that like randomly sends you packages in the mail.
I love stuff in the mail.
Do you really?
Oh yeah.
I always feel like I'm going to get bombed or something. I'm like,
you're a good guy. You should be worried if you're me.
You'll be surprised.
If anyone should not check the mail, it's me.
I had people on Twitter after my season aired. I had people on Twitter tell me they was going to kill me. Okay.
What, for being so good looking?
I don't know. I just got random people.
What did their wives go? I'm leaving you. Where are you going? You get that Jeremiah Wood guy?
I did have a lot of wives come. No, I'm joking.
I bet. I strongly bet. Have you met my grandma yet?
Yes, I did. She's beautiful. She's beautiful.
She's available.
I love her.
I don't know what your plans are later.
Let's go for number 8.
Okay. She's kinky.
Okay.
Just throwing it out there.
So Gavin reaches out to me like
she didn't say no.
She didn't say no.
She did
We're
not.
We're going to talk.
All right.
So Gavin reaches out to me like a year and a half ago and says, I've been a super fan of this show forever, big fan of yours. He said, I want to get on this show. What can I do? I said, well, you need to make this awesome video. So I kind of walked through what video I sent in, and I kind of told him what he needed to send in. He made a video. He sent it to me. I looked at it. I thought it was awesome. I sent it to production, and they said, hey, it's a good video, but, he's a young guy in college. He just got engaged. Not a big storyline there. And so he needs to do something. He needs to make his video stronger. I reached back out to him. He made his video stronger. We sent it back in. I didn't hear nothing from him until the cash was released. And he sent me a message and said, man, look at the cash release. I said, I've done saw it. So, and I seen that he made it. And it was amazing to see a super fan of the show make it. And,
wow.
And I hope he does.
100%. And that's the thing.
Like I used when people used to, back in the day when people used to say, hey, can you help me get on the show? There was a casting couch involved. I never sent a video anywhere.
Yep.
Well, the moral of the story is
I'm going to be honest with you. Come in, I auditioned. I had to, I worked my butt off to get on this show. Yeah. I got on the show, and I'm willing to help anybody out that I possibly can. Now, I was willing to help him out. He was a kid. He was a super fan. I was willing to help him out. But it ain't nothing that I did. I just pushed his video. Yeah. He made the video.
What are his chances of winning?
I think he's got a absolute great chance of winning. He's got to. I'm not seeing much of him right yet, but they keep winning. And it was kind of like us when we kept winning at the first of the season. You didn't see much of us.
Yeah, no.
And so I don't know what kind of game plan he has, but he needs to get Joe out.
I think it's extremely beneficial for him that David versus Goliath has not been seen by this cast, because I don't think a country boy archetype wins 2 in a row. No. Them not seeing that, he has a strong chance. I've met him. He's a great kid.
Yeah, I think he's a great kid.
I wish he had a couple more years under his belt of just life. But, maybe this is one of those seasons that you don't need that.
He might be like a Spencer, a super fan, and goes in and has not a crazy strategic game, but he knows how to talk, and
likability off the charts.
That's it.
There you go. So. Awesome. Right. Jeremiah?
Jonny, appreciate it.
Thank
Happy birthday.
Oh, thank you.
Hey, Matt, he's halfway to 90.
I know he is. And, dude, it's a pleasure to meet you, brother.
Pleasure to meet you too, Matt.
Yeah.
Appreciate you, man.
Right on.
Hey, thank you, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you. Jeff Varner. Do we have a Jeff Varner in the house?
Dude, I tell you what, this is one of these podcasts that's actually extremely awesome for me to be doing, because right now I am meeting people that I'm a fan of that for the first time, and it's pretty freaking badass.
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen.
You want me to sit here?
Have a seat.
Yeah, but there's a camera. Where's the camera?
Oh, wait, he'll get us. He's got.
No, but I don't want my fat ass. Sorry. Aside.
Here, come around.
This? Okay.
You look good.
I'm not looking. I don't care. Hey.
Okay. Hey, how's it going, Jeff Varner? Jonny Fairplay.
Thanks for having
nice to meet you
tonight. Cheers.
Cheers. All right.
Hey, Dad, Grandma.
Yeah.
I met her tonight for the first time.
I know. Is that crazy?
Who's this cat?
What's going on,
that's Matt Bischoff from Fans vs. Favorites too. Oh, okay.
Hey, Matt.
All right. There you go.
Nice to meet you, dude. Yeah. Thanks for being on.
Hey, Jeff Varner's a big fan of the show, as you can tell, Matt.
I love it.
Let's hear for Jeff Varner, ladies and gentlemen.
Your mom's so pretty.
Thank you. My mom is. Hey, my mom's over there.
That's where you get it.
I know. My dad ain't pretty. Anyway, let's talk about the show. We had an immunity challenge. How crazy? So it was a mini roller coaster. What did you think?
Okay, you got to remind me. I was kind of in and out of it.
Okay, I'll run. So the immunity challenge, you had to race over these. It was raining, and there's these A-frame deals. You run over 2 of them, and then you make this epic puzzle after you have to pull that chest around that thing.
Those ramps, like with the water added, I don't think they expected that challenge to be as difficult as it was.
We did it.
But
we did that whole challenge.
In the rain?
In Cambodia. No, it wasn't raining.
Okay, but could you imagine the rain not helping?
It's hard. You couldn't get up it without the rain.
Yeah, so
those things are steep. They're much steeper than you.
I could watch Lauren attempting to get up that ramp on loop for the rest of my life. I am all in.
Lauren is
Lauren was the one that probably should have gone home tonight.
The pretty one, the pretty brunette.
She's very pretty. She might be top 20 prettiest survivors of all time.
She's very pretty.
She's up there. She's very cute. So, but her claiming that the ramp is top 4 survivors ever.
How about Aubrey?
Yep.
She's hot.
Is she?
Well, I was.
See,
I'm sure she is to somebody.
Did you play with Aubrey?
I sure did.
How was that?
Nightmare.
Oh, really? Not fun?
No, which I found really interesting in that early season when she was so pissed that nobody would talk game with her.
Yeah.
That's her whole thing.
That's her whole thing is talking game?
Like, we all hated her for that reason.
For just talking game nonstop.
No, she won't.
Oh, she won't talk game with you?
She walks around and asks you all kinds of questions.
Oh,
that's nothing.
But gives okay.
That's her whole thing. She's very frustrating to play with.
I would imagine
she's very good at ingratiating herself.
Yeah.
You can see her kissing ass all the way around the corner.
Yeah, but having the same conversation with every single person. Yeah. All right. So are you an Aubrey fan?
I mean, I know her, so yay, good for her. But in terms of watching the show, no, vote her ass out yesterday.
Okay. What about Kelly Wentworth?
I would like to see her do well, but they should have voted her out when they had the chance.
I think they should have voted her out.
Who was the guy? Chris?
Chris, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that every decision War Dog has made, I've hated, but we'll get to tribal in a little bit. All right, so we have tribal. It comes down like if I'm the Kama tribe, I throw the challenge on purpose to get rid of Joe.
Why?
You don't get like you don't.
You just don't want to vote anybody out in the beginning.
Well,
we're not the beginning. We're on day 12.
No, you're in the beginning. It's the beginning.
I don't want
the beginning.
Okay, I mean, if you feel secure enough,
it's still too early.
If you feel secure enough with the people that you have, I guess it's okay. But
Joe will get his quickly.
Okay,
yeah,
I'm ready. I'm ready for it.
I agree with Varner because Joe, he's going to be a huge target. No one's going to let that dude go all the way to the end of the game
because you're not worried about it.
Honestly, if anyone should throw the challenge, it would be if I was on the tribe with Wendy, I would be throwing the challenge to get Wendy's ass out of the game.
Wait, what do you? I like Wendy now.
I love Wendy.
All right,
get rid of Wendy.
Yeah, Varner is now in love with Wendy.
I am.
Oh my gosh! There's a lot of there's a lot of Wendy fans, which is totally cool. But I honestly, there's never a chance where I would want to throw a challenge. But we see that Kama wins, Manu wins second, and unfortunately.
Lesu is the Lesu of the tribes.
Yeah, and Wentworth, it's so funny because I'm from Ohio, and we always make fun of the Cleveland Browns, even though I don't even watch football, but we always make fun of the Browns.
I have a Cleveland Browns jersey. They just got Odell Beckham Jr. They're going to kill it next year, at least in fantasy. So screw you for not being up on your facts, Kelly Wentworth.
Well, she calls herself a Cleveland Brown of Tribes, which I thought was freaking hilarious. But, it doesn't surprise me that they lost. I mean, Joey Amazing winning, not a big surprise there. But we're at this deal. First of all, I'm going to say it again, and I don't know what you think, Jeff, but I am not a fan of the 3-tribe deal, especially right now in the game. Because it's just like no one's getting a lot of airtime. There's so many people that I think could be great characters that might be playing this hardcore game that we're not seeing because of the 3-tribe deal and because of the returning players. So the fact that a returning player has not got voted out yet is pretty unbelievable. Because
how do you know? I mean, all right. So if you're a newbie, is the first? I mean, like I go back and watch the first All Stars, and you have the first All Stars, and you have Lex, who is like, best friends with Ethan. It's just like, look, man, we're bros. I love you. You won $1 million. My turn. See you later. If I'm a newbie and you have these returnees, it's just like, dude, so you had your chance. I mean, like, if it's all returnees, it's like, cool, let's work it out. If you've had 8 chances, if you had 2, it's okay. We're all on equal footing here. We've all been called back. But if this is your first time and you're looking at Joey Amazing, it's just like, no way, Jose.
Mm-hmm. You need that, though. You need him. You need to win. You want to win. You've been there. You know how it is.
No, the first time I went to Tribal Council, I sent home Burton Roberts, one of the strongest players ever in the history of Survivor.
Did you really?
Yes.
I remember that.
Yeah, I played the second half first.
Cambodia.
Yeah. Well, see, there you feel my pain.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, we see Rick and David talking. People are kind of talking about Lauren. She's not eating. She's kind of weak. She's emotionally kind of distraught. David says that Wentworth, although he wants to get her out, he said this is not the right time to target Kelly. Like, I don't think it'll work out. So they think that she might have a hidden immunity idol, which I think it's pretty smart for them to think that. And then you see Lauren and Kelly talking about voting out Rick, and War Dog is kind of in the middle. Varner, Jonny Fairplay has been very vocal about his hatred of the War Dog. I don't really hate that many people in life. What is your opinion of the War Dog?
I don't have an opinion one way or the other. I think he's good. He doesn't bother me. I wouldn't want to get rid of him, and I wouldn't want to keep him. I'm kind of neutral with him right now. Yeah. He appears to be doing really well, don't you think?
Oh,
you
my
don't
God.
Like him.
Oh, no.
He's the worst. He might be,
but no, I think that War Dog is playing a pretty just mellow, under-the-radar game.
Listen, I give credit where credit's due. He's playing a fine game. I do feel, though, that the move to get rid of Wentworth over Chris last week was a much smarter move. In that Chris loved War Dog. Like he was like, they're just like, hey, don't tell War Dog this. It's just us. We're telling you. We don't need to tell War Dog. Don't tell War Dog. Chris goes, hey, I got to tell you this. Mm-hmm. That's the guy you want to keep.
Right.
Versus Kelly Wentworth, who specializes in sending home people like the War Dog. Right. That's our go. It's just like, hey, are you a lawyer or wannabe lawyer? Oh, I love sending you home. That's my gimmick.
Yeah.
So I do want to get to this real quick before we get to the tribal councils tonight. A lot of people were asking last week about Ron Clark not using his secret menu advantage.
I like him.
I like Ron Clark a lot. All right. So he had up until the third tribal council to use the secret menu advantage. And he, since they didn't go to tribal council, any of those, he didn't use them there, but he could have used it to steal the other tribe's reward, which would have been the chickens, or it could have chose comfort, which I would chose comfort anyways.
Right.
But anyway, he instead, in a secret scene, if anyone didn't see this, it was I discussed it with Rob C on Rob Has a Podcast last week. At the bottom of the secret menu thing, it's the last line is, this must be used in the first 3 tribal councils. He ripped off that bottom line. So that is sitting there. So people are thinking that they could steal a vote or whatever, all the menu options. He's planning on hiding that back out there to destroy someone's game. If anyone saw David.
That's the smartest way to use that.
That's much smarter than putting a target on yourself in any way. David Wright's plan was to make an ultimate advantage and hide on the island somehow if possible. He's going to steal a piece of parchment paper and write, you just found the ultimate advantage. Mm-hmm. So therefore, at the when all the votes are read, stand up and say, hey, none of the votes count, and here's the person I'm sending home. Even though it's not real, they do that, and their game is just blown up hugely. This is equally as effective.
Yeah. So. I got a piece of something for you from Cambodia. Somebody who had been in a previous season and won an idol, found an idol, smuggled in their rules. The sheet that comes with it. And it was her plan to plant that somewhere. She never did it, and I'm never going to tell you who it is.
That's okay.
Wow.
There are people that do that. They bring their
Where
stuff
did
in from
Where did
previous-
she smuggle it in?
I'll tell you how. You smuggle it in your tampon wrapper. You undo your tampons, because I know people that have smuggled contraband. Undo the tampon, stick contraband in there, super glue it back. That's a perfect place to put a rolled up clue for an idol.
Sleeping pills in her tampons for Cambodia. She got caught.
Wow.
I did not smuggle
So she
any.
could sleep at night.
I didn't smuggle anything into my tampons. I didn't. I do. According to rumor and innuendo, on the first All Stars, Richard Hatch smuggled waterproof matches in his butt.
Yep.
Wow. That's crazy.
That's an alliance right there. I'm just like, you know what? You seem like you came to play, buddy.
So Jeff, before we go to Tribal, Jeff, I want to just ask you this. So you've been a part of some of the craziest tribal councils and deals in Survivor history. If you like, would you?
Are any of them notable?
I don't remember too many.
Okay.
Are you?
Nope.
Are you jaded from the Survivor experience, or if they ask you if there was this elusive season 40 Legends, which probably isn't going to happen, and you got asked to play Survivor again, would you go back and play Survivor again?
Never.
You never would.
No, and I wouldn't consider it jaded. I'm not jaded. I'm just beyond. I've just moved past. That last one was kind of dramatic and ugly, and things went on. People saw a show, and it was very different than the experience I had, honestly.
Well, I can tell you this.
Editing
man.
really did some stuff in that, and it just opened my eyes to a lot. And
oh, yeah. And as a fan, dude, I felt extremely bad for you and seeing the stuff that was going on, because you're a human being. We all play this crazy game, but at the end of the day, we all have feelings and emotions, besides Jonny Fairplay, of course. But no, all seriousness, man, like you happen to be doing what you thought was, you were playing the game of Survivor. It was a game. I don't think you had any evil intentions in what you did. And it was very upsetting to me as a fan to see you fucking drug through the waters like you did. So I hope right now that you are in a better place emotionally. And from someone who is a fan of yours and stuff, man, props to you. And cheers, buddy.
I appreciate that.
Right on.
I appreciate that.
He's just with one of the best realty companies in all of Greensboro, North Carolina, and the North Carolina area.
She is too.
I mean, so I think it all worked out.
Yeah, I mean,
minus a couple bumps.
I'm not jaded from it all, but there's what was shown on television is not exactly fair to what happened.
Right on.
Without any kind of detail. Yeah. And so wearing, I'm not trying to back out of what I did. I did do that, and it was awful, and I shouldn't have done it. Right. But there were so many other pieces to that puzzle. It wasn't just me.
Right.
And things happened. People got fired. There's drama around that moment that the viewer will never know. Right. And it was sliced, diced to make a point.
Yeah.
And the stuff that would have been accurate and fair to me was left on the floor.
Right.
So the producers threw me under a bus, and that's hard for me to get past because I've been with them for 20 years.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not jaded. I'm just awake. Yeah. I'm woke.
Right. No, that makes perfect sense, dude. So all I know is the people that are there tonight live with Jonny Fairplay, you guys, it's amazing the different people from Survivor, Jonny, that are there with you tonight. Like,
it's pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy.
It is just the
different survivors that are here. I mean, like if you thought that you were going to be in a room with someone that we can't mention because they're on the season, and Jeremiah and Jonny Fairplay and Zeke with
we can't talk about the current cast members who are.
We cannot.
Well, it was nice to meet them. We got all the scoop.
Oh hell yeah! But no, I'm just saying it's
I like to say the scoop, and then afterwards I say spoiler alert. I'm very bad. Like supposedly you do it in the reverse order, but I. Yeah. So yeah. So Keith wins.
Yeah, we we go to tribal council, and this is a tribal council that David Wright claims is the best or most crazy tribal council he's ever been a part of, right?
Full of shit.
I will say this. I felt watching tonight's tribal. For me, it was a throwback to when tribals carried an entire episode. I mean, like, go back and watch a Survivor Africa or Survivor Australia. You know, the challenges weren't, so grandiose as they are today. There's not 3 tribes competing at once, so there's all the split airtime. There's a lot of dead time on these. Watching the show was watching you survive.
Yeah.
That was a big component on the show. So when you got to tribal, they were emotional. They were not, tribal's live tonight, Jeff, and we have voting blocks, and it's fucking fluid, and all these fucking bullshit fucking cliches that I fucking hate hearing week in, week out.
It's amazing how a producer can feed you something that just lives.
Well, it is.
Out loud. I said that out loud.
Well, but there's also Survivor super fans that bring in these terms and strategies.
They've been conditioned
because
already.
they've conditioned from watching, not being fed, but by watching. Right. So tonight I felt was a throwback. We saw raw emotion, 5 players that were just like, wow, this shit sucks. This isn't fucking voting blocks. This isn't, a fluid live tribal. This is 5 people that would prefer to have an extra fucking person to kick to the fucking curb, and War Dog of all people as the fucking swing vote. So
yeah, he's good. He's a swing vote. It was an emotional tribal, and I was really bummed when Rick Devens goes home.
Oh,
God, I was bummed.
I'm a Hokie. I'm a Virginia Tech Hokie. We're an ACC country right here. We're in Durham, North Carolina, home of the Blue Devils. Boo. I said it. I'm a Hokie. He's a Tar Heel. I mean, that's something that means something. Even though Virginia Tech wasn't part of the ACC back when you were at Carolina, they are now. I love the entire ACC. When it comes to ACC football, it's good, not great. ACC basketball, I think is the greatest on the planet every year, forever. And seeing Rick Devens go tonight hurt.
It hurts you.
It hurt.
You're that invested.
He's a guy. I've talked to him. He's a good guy. You'd love him.
I'm sure I would.
You would. And you also have done the news thing. For him to start out tribal, it's just like, hey, we're at LESU network, and the top story tonight is we suck even worse than we thought we did. I thought that was really fun, and I mean, because you do have, I mean, you were on Entertainment Tonight. You were also on the local
a lot,
local news here in the Carolinas.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah,
it's been a lot. I connected with him a little bit that way.
Yeah.
I also didn't realize how much I hated news till I got out.
Wow.
So part of me is looking at him thinking, you poor fella, you ain't figured it out.
Well, I mean, so win the million so you can quit.
But Rick Devens, he walks down the path. He has the choice.
Oh, he's so happy.
And he grabs the torch, and I was like, wow, man, everyone is grabbing the torch except that one Keith guy who's praying to baby Jesus about what he should do. There would be no question for me.
That might have been mentioned this evening, Matt.
I'm sure that was a question at the topic of the night. But he goes to Edge of Extinction.
Every time they showed the Edge of Extinction, there might have been the phrase, oh God, oh God, oh God.
But we'll see. I'm excited to see Edge of Extinction finally play out. It was another good episode of Survivor. I still would like to see more character development like we saw on David versus Goliath. We're kind of missing out due to the returning players. But overall, I think it's a solid season. I think it's going to get even better the way it goes down. So, hey, man, Varner.
Do you think everybody who gets voted out is going to take that torch? Do you
Yes.
think anybody's going to say, screw it, I'm out?
I don't know.
I don't.
I think.
I heard
Well,
somebody wants.
Okay. Well, there you go.
I take.
As Jeff just said, spoiler alert.
But
I didn't say any names.
I take that. Like, here's the thing, Varner. When you said watching Lauren tonight and how she was like crying, like I miss home, I this that.
Yeah.
She's not eating very much. I think that she may just tap out if she gets that opportunity.
And information being like on the first All Stars, I heard Alicia made it to the end. I was contacted today by one of the biggest reality stars ever, and he was like, "I heard you were in Los Angeles last week." And
I heard that too, and I don't even stay in touch with shit.
And I'm just like, I swear on everyone. I mean, like, unfortunately,
So what you're trying to say is they cut you?
No, I never went to Los Angeles.
Johnny wasn't in Los Angeles because I was probably doing a podcast with Johnny Fairplay.
They're all there though. There's a bunch of people there.
They were there last week.
I've heard all kinds of names. There's people.
I've heard all kinds of names too, but they're saying me, so I don't believe any of them. So if you're saying you heard that someone walks, I probably don't believe that either.
I heard 40. We're going to see a lot of old schoolers.
Okay.
Apparently, there's a bunch of them out there.
Okay. Well,
like real old, like way back old.
Okay. Great. Sounds good. Sounds.
It ain't you though, apparently.
Sounds fucking horrible.
Well, nevertheless, man, thank you guys. Thank everyone that's there tonight, that's been a part of this Survivor NSFW live event, Johnny Fairplay's birthday party. And Varner, I hope to meet you in person one day, my friend.
Where are you? Where do you live?
I live in Cincinnati, Ohio.
You want to come back to Tosh's event? We're going in June. You want to come?
I may.
All right, there we go. He's coming to Tosh's event.
I may.
Right on. Well, if you do, I got plenty of room in my house, Varner. So,
yeah.
So
me and Big Tom stay over at Matt's.
Do you?
Yeah.
Right on.
Cool.
Well, awesome.
All
Well,
right.
thank you guys. We will see you guys next week for another amazing episode.
Matt.
Yo.
Matt, before we let you go, I have huge news.
Oh, God.
This is very big.
What is it?
Did you know that Robinhood is an investing app that lets you buy stocks, ETFs, options, and cryptos all commercial free? It's true.
Wow.
Yeah, they strive to make financial services work for everyone, not just the wealthy. It's a non-intimidating way for stock newcomers to invest for the first time with true confidence.
Hey, it's simple and intuitive too.
Yeah, clear design with data presented in an easy-to-digest way. Listen.
Are these people paying you?
No. We don't like to say that, but the values of the Robinhood app are: there's no cost or commission fees. Other brokerages charge up to $10 for every trade, but Robinhood doesn't charge any commission fees, and you can trade stocks and keep all your profits. Easy to understand charts and data and market data. You can place a trade in 4 taps on your smartphone. It lets you view stock collections like what, Jeff Varner?
Female what?
Female CEOs.
Oh, CEOs.
Yeah, 100 most popular. Entertainment, social media. Hey, listen, there's analyst ratings to buy, hold, and sell for every stock. Learn by doing. Learn how to invest and build your portfolio. Discover new stocks. Track your favorite companies with personalized newsfeed, custom notifications for price movements so you never miss the right price to invest. And Robinhood is giving listeners a free stock like Apple, Ford, or Sprint to help build your portfolio. Sign up right now at fairest.robinhood.com. That's FAIREST.robinhood.com.
And I know it works because Matthew Sash-Lenahan, when he was with us, says he uses that app all the time. So, hey, everyone, thank you again. We will see you guys next week on Survivor NSFW. Cheers.
Woo!